be a little too personal, but I just need to know. Like, honestly, what you so sexy for? Who told you to be this hot? You think I'm playing, but I'm not. I've been watching you all night from afar. You got something to ya. Like, damn, I wish I knew ya. Won't you pick me up later in your car? Fire eyes, attitude dangerous. Ooh, you fine. Bet you got some crazy love. Fire eyes, attitude dangerous. Ooh, you fine. What you so sexy for? What you so sexy for? What you so sexy for? Fire eyes, attitude dangerous. Ooh, you fine. Bet you got some crazy love. Fire eyes, attitude dangerous. Ooh, you fine. What you so sexy for?
All right. Do something about that for now. All right, howdy, folks. It's Twitch Tuesday. It's time to turn some wood. My name is Dave. I'm a woodturner. I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, a better turner myself. The more I help other turners improve their skills, the more I talk about those skills. And I mean, there's so many pieces of the puzzle, but all those things, the more it gets cemented into my own head. So it's something that I really, really enjoy. I hope you do as well. And if you haven't started turning yet, I gotta say, I think it's fantastic therapy. Don't just take my word for it. Talk to some turners in your local area. I bet that they will tell you the same thing. All right, so last week we got started on this box. This piece of maple crotchwood. I had a red heart lid that I'm going to make an insert for, and then put a drill for a finial handle. We got to finish the bottom, and I'm going through my bucket here because I'm hoping, yeah, this is where I keep all my pieces and parts, and well, that might be cool. No, that's not going to work. For a resin project in the future, I'm hoping I've got just a small piece of maple. Oh, that was crap. Nope. If not, I'm going to wind up using what I've got here, which is a piece of beech. That's going to be too small. And a piece of American chestnut burl. that might work. So I do have a small piece of maple. We'll turn a couple and see which one works better. I'm gonna get these buckets out of the way. Whew. Getting chilly. Get that dude up. All right. So let's see. I think I will start with finishing off the bottom of the box. I've got the inside depth marked here to tell me where to stop cutting away from the bottom so that I don't make a tubular funnel, I guess in this case. It wouldn't be a bowl shape. Where can I set these? Oh, I need to cover my keyboard. Let's do that. Set these aside. And these aside. And get this guy set up. Okay. Key, where'd I put the key? I got a couple projects here that are in different stages of completion. And I want to try to finish these guys out. Let me double check and make sure that I have not hit that camera hard enough for that. Get that right in the middle for that camera. We'll switch back to that later. So I'm putting this in an expansion hold with the chuck. I want to get a nice snug hold. Nothing too crazy because, well, I mean, there is a split in this piece right here, but it's toward the bottom. There's a little bit of couple of little bit of splits there, so I want to have a good hold, but not so much that I'm forcing this apart. So I'm going to bring up the tailstock just so I have extra support here. And tool rest would be probably appropriate. How about this guy? I seem to like this guy a lot. This is a really handy tool rest, I gotta say. Yeah, that's too tall, which means I've got to drop this down. All right. So I've got to move my collar a bit here. Seems like it's time to get a new Allen nut or screw. That one seems to be stripped on the inside for the Allen wrench. Let's see. Maybe too low now. I do like the idea of this collar. It's very handy. But I need to, well, for one, get a longer Allen screw and then drill a slightly deeper hole in the tool rest itself so that the Allen screw can go into that hole and hold the collar where I want it. It tends to loosen a lot. It's got a very tiny Allen screw, and now the inside of that screw where the Allen wrench goes is stripped out a little. All right, so that's my line. Excuse me. And oh, that's right. I wanted to give this a little bit more of a taper too, now that I recall. So we're going to do that. First, let me see. I don't have my skewer with me. Hold on. Yeah, that should work all right. What clicked? I think I dropped a wrench. Maybe? Maybe not. Should be right on top. I must have moved it. Okay, let's bring this light back. And I don't know if this is going to be a good, maybe. Good view there. So it doesn't take a lot of pressure, force, Super Saiyan strength, or whatever you want to call it, to present the tool to the work. You don't have to white knuckle it. Let's go a little bit more with the taper. I don't want anything, it's just I just want a slight taper to this box just to give it a little bit of different dimension than just a straight box. Some fine shavings there, alright. Put my pencil on back. Should be completely gone, but it was right in that neighborhood. And don't forget, if you miss a broadcast, you can't make it to Twitch on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I record every single one of these broadcasts and then post them on my YouTube channel. YouTube.com at Dave Reif, and I'll put that in chat here in a bit. I think I'm going to go with a little bit of 220 in here. Not that guy. And just clean up the surface just a bit. It's going to take much. I think I just took that pencil line away again. And then let's hit that again. Looks like I did not get I got a little bit of tool mark there. Should have almost got rid of it. We got a little bit there. walking right over that, apparently. It's right at the end of the barking enclosure. I love those shavings. Alright, here we go. Shoot this here. Pretty good, and then I like to go perpendicular if there's not a lot of little concentric. It's not that they're super easy to see, but get rid of these concentric sanding lines. I think this would be a cool little box when it's done. If you have any questions or if you're not clear on what's happening, maybe I'm not describing it well enough for you to understand, please mention that in chat and I will answer. This is live and interactive, so I do my best to monitor chat. That's 150. We don't want 150. And answer your comments and questions along the way. Just a little bit right there. This maple is mighty hard. I like turning maple. It does make some really pretty shavings. Alright. Take another gander around the circumference here. Take a look. A little bit right there. Okay, there we go. So now I'll finish off the bottom here. I need to put my pencil line back. Of course. Probably don't need to really, I know. At least know where it's at. Drop the tool rest back down. Ooh. Now that's interesting. Let's use that. Give it a little bit of lift on the bottom by creating a little bit of a chamfer. Grab this guy and then have it sit just on the table here on the bottom, and then I'll feed this side and it'll sit right there. It'll have just a little bit of lift, so in theory it'll kind of look like it's just floating above the table a little bit. Since we have tool in hand, let's go with this guy. My endpoints. There's my bead. might be a little too much lift. Let's take that down a bit. Now, I'll have to clean that up. Double check to see if I've got a good, okay. I need to have a concave bottom, slightly concave, so that it sits on the outer edge of this ring here. And let's clean up that mess. Let's kind of change that now. There we go. Should be pretty clean now. Yep. Alright, and we got good concavity there. So now I can turn this away. Just using a 1/2 inch spindle gouge here. Set my end point and allowing my hand to rotate into its comfortable position as I lift the handle of the tool. It gives me a good, nice, clean cut. I just need to sand that little bit there. Well, it does not feel like 220 to me. There we go. And it will sit just a little proud of where this curve is, just a little bit. Hopefully give it the illusion that it's just kind of floating above the surface that it's on. Sure, this is not a clean surface. Where's my guy? There's my guy. Who's this dude? Get rid of those concentric marks. Probably a little overkill, but I really prefer tool marks not to tell the story. I want the wood itself, the timber itself, to tell the story, whatever that story is. And if the eye is distracted by the tool marks, then I think it kind of interrupts the process of enjoying the piece of work. You know, unless the tool marks are intentional, but on this piece they're not. It's really nice curl through here too. Really digging that. Yeah, let's get that bit right up on top there. I don't know, man. I may do 320. Well, let's take a look at this first. Let's see a little bit of the paper towel. Got nice beetle track stuff on it too, so beetle galleries, damage. So we'll clean that out shortly, all of this stuff out shortly. I want to put my buffing wax on here. Before I do that though, I need to grab my engraver and sign the bottom. We have a running joke with the Woodturning Club here in town, that if it's not signed, you can't tell who it came from, so it must have come from China. So that's when we're doing our show and share, or show and tell, or adult show and tell, we're showing the pieces that we're either working on recently, or if we really think we did a nice job on. Anyway, just showing our pieces to each other and explaining the process of how we got to wherever we got to. And when the pieces are lifted up to see, all right, who's next in line, and there's no name, we go, oh, this one's from China. No name. All right. If you have, this is, a standard metal engraver. It had the metal engraving bit in it, very sharp. It doesn't work as well on wood. So what I did is I took a finishing nail, which fits in there just as well as the original tip, engraving tip, and then just took my file to it to put a point on it. And this finishing nail does a really much better job of engraving into wood than the metal engraver tip does. So that's a neat little tip you could try if you find you have trouble. With your, I should do that also. With your engraver, getting into the wood process. I'm just going to do this very top bit here, right around the top. There we go, since I can't go back. And I like to hold my abrasive not in a death grip, definitely holding it strong enough to keep it in place. But if it happens to get picked up by the piece or the chuck or whatever and taken out of my hand, I want to be able to just let it go. And so I don't have a death grip on the abrasive when I'm working with it, just in case it wants to slip away. It can go that way. I don't get pulled into the lathe accidentally. All right, so now we're ready for the buffing wax. Whoops. And this I've kept inside because it is mighty chilly and it wants to harden up. And TC Schmo says, sorry to be late sorting wood. Oh, okay, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hope your day's been going all right. And I'm assuming sorting wood, probably for Mike, maybe. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Glad you could make it. And I don't know, just as a joke, I guess, as an aside, the only one we got to worry about being late is me, right? But thank you very much for joining me this evening. All right. I'm not down as low as it goes. I put way too much on there. Clearly. Let's get some of that off. There we go. This is a really, really nice buffing compound. Beeswax, walnut oil, orange oil, and some really fine grit rotten stone and hummus. So not only do I have to not worry about curing, drying, setting up, whatever the finish is, it's completely food safe. So the rotten stone I use, which is diatomaceous earth, I have medical grade in my mix here. Now I'm just buffing this in to get as much of the wax as I can into the pores of the wood. It is maple. The pores are very small. Alrighty. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. That looks very nice. Alright, time to clean out these holes. Let's see, I'm going to grab, well, I guess I'll grab both of them. Nope, let's grab all three. What the heck? So I got some picker tools here. That'll help me get this stuff out of here. So I'm going to remove any leftover wax that's found its way into these little hollows and galleries and tunnels, whatever you want to call them, from the beetle damage. And then I can call the body of the box done, other than finishing the inside with pure walnut oil. Alright, get this stuff out of here. It's very nice. The walnut oil in this mix gives it a little bit of color. The orange oil gives it a nice glow and is what I use as my, didn't get that guy, my solvent for the whole process. So this piece of crotch wood is looking really nice after that application. And then this beetle dust needs to go. You know, I think I'm going to have to turn on my air compressor. So I'm going to do that now. Let it get up the pressure so I can... Oh, no, wait. Okay. Dude's got to reset, but I do have some air pressure on the tank, so there is plenty of air. I don't need to run it. This is the part that can take a little bit because these holes are pretty small. Plus, if I really feel like it needs a little extra, I'll use some, just use some pure walnut oil. When I do the inside, I'll put walnut oil in those little galleries and holes and tunnels. Maybe, actually, let's go take a look at it here in a second. I may just leave it just because it's a different color. This stuff's packed in there pretty tight, huh? Maybe I can, there we go. Clean off the back side of these tubes. Get all that, as much as I can anyway, this beetle dust out of here. Alright, a little bit here. A little wax. Very cool, man. I was hoping that these would show up pretty well. I like leaving the natural features where I can. Just don't get any more wax in there. Bring this guy back. I see some more. And this split. Get that out of there. The drying process, this piece of maple crosswood took, left some really nice features, and I'm trying to keep as much of it as possible. Got one more piece of this crosswood that I got here to the left that I'm going to work on trying to hollow it out. Not sure if that one's going to survive, but we'll find out, I think. There we go. And then a little bit of clean. So we'll just do one last little buff here. There we go. Make sure that groove is clean. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Cool. Really. Alright. There we go. Side. That can go. Key. Let's give it a key, Dave. There it is. So, let me grab this guy again. Where did you go? There. Nope. Well, you sank to the bottom of the barrel, so that'll work. We'll just use another piece of paper towel. I want to put a little bit on this outer ring here, or inner ring, I'm sorry. And the lid's going to slide in. A little bit of beeswax. Let me get rid of this sawdust. Oh, looks like, excuse me, there was a tiny bit of wax in that sawdust, so that had to have come from when I did this side. Didn't think I reached it far enough, but I may have. And let's just be sure. Now it need to be on the inside. And then I'll just buff that in by hand. So, next week, I think, is it next week? Next week. Maybe 2 weeks? Maybe it's 2 weeks. I don't know what the date is. It must be 2 weeks. I'll be hanging out with a friend of mine who goes by the handle of Michigan Viking here on Instagram or Twitch. I think Instagram too. And I think we're going to try to live stream that whole episode. Oh, there is some beetle stuff down on the bottom that I want to get rid of. I did not see that. So hopefully we'll have a dual, I don't know about a dual stream, but maybe we'll have it on his channel and this one as well. Let's close that up so we don't get any dust in there. It was a good time, man. We've been talking about getting together for a while and turning. He is a relatively new turner. But he's really into it, and he's doing some really cool stuff. I think we discussed like turning some tool handles and some other things too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks, but just keep your eyes open. I'm pretty sure. I really want to try to stream the whole thing while we're there, and it'll be in the evening, so about the same time that I would normally stream anyway. Might even be on one of the nights I normally stream, but it will be the week of the first, after the first of the year. All right, lovely. Oh yeah, look at all that curl. That's awesome. Really like working with crotchwoods. I think they just have some really nice features and curl to them. And I'm being picky about this, but I see I can probably get some more in here. There we go. All right, so that dude's done, other than finishing the inside with walnut oil. This will be the lid that sits on it. So I'm going to profile this a little bit here in just a bit, but I want to make the piece that fits in there. And I think I'm going to go with the maple, so that, at least in theory, the grain is very similar. I don't know if there's going to be a curl to this. Probably. I think this was like the very end. No, this is a different piece of walnut, but I think this was the very end of another piece of crotchwood, so we might get some cool curl in it, cool features. And since it is walnut or maple, probably should have said walnut. It'll stand a much better chance of matching, which I forgot to think about. It doesn't really matter if it matches, but since I've got the lid and the finial is going to be red hard, I really wanted to try to get a piece of maple in there too, so that it all works together. We'll give me just enough. Actually, I think I will put, see if I can find a small spacer, small piece of wood here, already round, that I can slide in there behind this to give this a little bit of outward. A little bit more proud of the chuck than it is, just to make sure I'm not going to catch anything. That won't work, that won't work. Would that work? No. Yeah, we'll just go with idea number 2. And I will just make a hole here for the chuck and then flip it around. Alright, leave the air hose. There's the box. Oh, hey, and while I'm at it, move the elbow poker guy out of the way. Let's lock down, let's lock down. I'm still at, oh, well, that's about 600. It'll work. You need sharp tools. Let's take a look at that. That might be the surface I use. I don't know. Let's, I will, got enough there, right? Alright, I'm going to try to bring this out a little bit, just a bit, so that I can make the shelf I want. Peter just did something weird. Everything looks like it's working though. Yeah, that's pretty close, man. That's really, really close. So I'll stick with that. I'm not going to monkey with that anymore. And take my parting tool. I don't have to try to grip it by the husk. For those of you who are Python fans, hopefully you get the reference. Coconut laden sparrow. So they look pretty similar on both sides. So I'm just going to work with this side here. Doesn't look like there's going to be really much curl to it, but since it will be separated by this red ring and that part of the lid be separate from the main piece, that it will still look alright. Nope, I'm going to leave that out. So now we need to size it. So I'm going to go back to my parting tool. And before I do that though, since I need a flat surface, well, I need a slightly concave surface to pop it into here. And I've got this slightly undercut with my 1/4 inch skew, so that I can pop that piece in with, when I have the glue, and I can pop that piece in, and that will help hold it as well as the glue. But I need to have a slightly concave surface so that where the glue holds it, which will be mostly on this outer edge and inside the lid, that the glue pools up right around the very edge, and that's where I want it to lock down. And I want the glue to lock down. It doesn't have to be much. That's not really even a 16th fat 32nd, but it doesn't need to be much. It just needs to be slightly concave so that the surface here in the middle and the surface in here in the middle don't meet. That they meet only on the outer edge and everything sits properly. Now I can go back here with my parting tool. Probably have a lid handy so I can double check my fitment. Come on. Whoop, wrong side. Ooh, right there. So if I go that way, I'm wondering now if I shouldn't get my joiner jig out. But nah, I think this will be alright. Okay, that is a nice secure, it's a nice snug fit, and that's what I'm looking for. So this will be now the new top, and when I part it off, that bottom part goes right inside there. I think. Let me. Then I did make the concave fit. Oh, you know, I can glue it together and then turn it. That'll be good. I'm thinking, like, how am I going to hold on to this dude? I have that figured out now. So that is a very good fit. I wanted it to kind of pop in, so I nailed it. And now I can part this piece off. Actually, we'll just glue it now. Or will we, he says. Let's get the key. I can trim that actually down. While it's on the chuck, I can get right up on that. Place of that chuck without boogering up my tool, so that works. And I don't have to monkey with that. I will just turn that off when the glue has set. Off to see the wizard. Okay, there you go. Accelerator and the glue. Pardon me for a moment. The cold air is making my nose is running a little bit. Alright, so I want to line up the grain. Which direction do I want it to go? You know, that looks pretty good right there. Okay. Glad I took my glue in. Alright. It's getting kind of thick, so we'll have to wait for a second for it to flow down. If it had been out here in the cold, it would take forever. trying to make sure I don't have any sawdust or shavings in here so that it does actually lay flat. Come on. Glue's just a little bit. Good golly, excuse me. Glue's a little bit stringy because it's thick. I'm going to turn the face of that anyway, so let's see. That line and that line. Now when I pop these together, that should set rather quickly. Still gonna hit with accelerate on the side there. And now I can put that away for now. Keep it handy right there for when I do the handle. So yeah, just by way of illustration, this is the last piece of that burl, and it's got a little bit of punkiness here. It's nothing really, I'll just have to be really careful when I'm hollowing it, but I wanted to try to save all of this features in it. I don't know if I'll need to set it in resin, but we'll find out. We'll get to that today. Okay, this guy now. How far will you sit in there? You're too far. Right, a little bit too far. Well, let's see. If I flatten this out, I can use this as a spacer. So that's what I will do. So I can bring the front of this out a little bit. Seems to be secure. That's interesting. Oh, okay. I see my stream moderator has posted twice, and it's supposed to do that like every half an hour, so I must already have done an hour. Gotta love them sharp tools, man. So that's flat enough. That'll work. Now I can port that off. In theory, use it as a spacer. It will be wide enough. Yeah, it'll be wide enough. Since I don't need all of this mass here, and I'm kind of going at an angle a little bit so that I get that concave surface on the side that I'm parting off as well. Does not have to be perfect. It's just making a spacer after all. And it's just a little bit, a couple of fibers holding on right there. And I'll take that nub off. Oh, the nice thing is I might be able to use that for another project if it survives. The weight. Just for fun, we'll cut that free too. Whoop. Butterfingers. So just making sure it will fit just fine. That way I don't have to do a compression or an expansion hold. It's my least favorite way to hold on to things. That way a little bit. Let's take a look at the rest. Shift that a little bit that way. There we go. Groovy. Alright, move the parting tool aside. Grab my spindle gouge. Let's give it some shape. And then I wanted to, let's see, I think I want to just slightly round this over. And create two beads here. I'm going to start from this way and go backwards into that bead. Clean that up some. How does that look? That looks very nice. Okay. And let's clean it up a little bit more. Come out of your cut, don't be afraid to go back and start over. Go back and pick it up where you can. And I think I should make one more bead right here. like that. Bring that up a little bit. And then I'll be able to drill here shortly. I'm going to, actually I'll drill first, and then I will do the finished sanding of this guy. What am I looking for? The skew. Looking for the skew to get my center point for the drill bit. Drill bits like to wander, following the grain of the timber. So what usually helps me is getting that little spot there. It's kind of like a cone, and then the drill bit, as it goes in, it will gauge right there in theory. Slowly lay it back down. What do we got here? I think that is a little bit too big. Yeah, 1/4 inch is too much. Actually, you need to go down here into that one. And we'll bring this guy out. That was a little bit more than 1/4 inch, so I want to go with 1/4 inch. Let's grab the Jacob chuck. And we'll set this guy. I found out today, I got an email from Twitch, and they did the year in review for I guess for every channel. So you all the milestones and stuff that you reached, and I don't understand the reference, so I got to figure it out. But this channel was named. How did it go? You know what? Let's look it up on the phone here really quick. I can't remember the exact wording. I just thought it was cool. Recap live. Here we go. Let's go to the recap really quick. I just want to get the verbiage here because it's interesting. I won, apparently, I don't know if it's an award, but I got a category. Not top streamer of the year, but it was something about touching. Here we are. Based on all this recap data, this year you were the grass toucher of the year. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I just thought that was interesting. And it says my chat badge, hey, has been unlocked. New chat recap badge. All right, cool. Back to turning. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway. Okay, so I want to go in. I think I'm at the right spot. Ooh, I'm just like right there. I want to go in about 3/8 of an inch. Okay, I just met the red heart. So we'll say a 1/4 inch deep then. You put me right at the face of the chuck. I could go a little bit deeper, but that should be a good enough fold for the handle. This is not a tight friction fit lid. It does have a good contact between the lid and the box, but I didn't want it to have a super tight friction fit. All right, let's put these away. Oh, and I can grab my tenon gauge. Let's do that. You are in here somewhere. There you are. Best tenon gauges ever, man. Little opening wrench. Okay, now we're done with that. And that red heart out of there. So yeah, I could go a little bit more, but I'm not going to worry about that. Oh, got some glue there. So I think what I should do is I'm going to shoot the inside here with some accelerator. So that survived. I might be able to use that for another project, or at least another spacer. Let's make sure you stay there. Okay. So real quick blast of accelerator there. It looks like we had some glue that didn't quite set up yet. In the center of this, it kind of squeezed through. So I'll hit that with accelerator on the inside, and that should take care of that. Okay, for this, I am going to go ahead and do an expansion hole because I don't need, I'm just doing a little bit of sanding, so I'm not really going to put a lot of pressure on it. Assuming this will fit there. Nope, I'm going to have to get my other chuck, but I have to move to the other chuck anyway eventually to do my handle, so this works out just fine. Let's grab the pin jaws. Just have to put this chuck on a little earlier than I thought. That works out just fine. Let's make sure there's no... So I'm going to have to do just a little bit of cleanup right here. There's a little bit of glue right on this line. So we'll address that really quickly with I think I'll probably use a spear point. Just hand tight is all I need. Finger tight, rather. Let's put these drill bits away. And I think my spear point is in the other drawer, so I'm going to go grab that. A tool I don't use a whole lot, although I have it. Matt Monaco uses a spear point. This is a scraper, and I've got different bevels cut just so I'm only using, I'm only worried about this top eighth of an inch or so. And it's really nice for getting up on beads and stuff when you get a burr up on here. And you can clean. Well, that's not right. That's not going to work. Let's rotate this a bit. I may wind up changing, or buying, rather, a replacement chuck sooner than I thought I was going to, but fortunately, they still they'll sell this chuck, although I don't know what changes they may have made. Hopefully not anything serious. This is my original purchase of this Barracuda chuck. I bought a spare when I had the funds to do so that, let me grab it, so I didn't have to change jaws so often. I can keep two separate jaw sets on the same chuck. And since the set or the kit itself for this chuck, yeah, that's just not going to work. Well, I guess I'm going back to the other, because all I got to do is clean that up a bit. So let's go back to this other chuck. But basically, I think it was $160 when I checked, something like that, about 2 weeks ago. So they're not expensive. It's a decent, I can say it's definitely a decent starter chuck. You get 3 different jaws. You get the screw chuck or piece that goes in there, the tools that you need, all in a nice plastic, fairly heavy duty plastic case. So to replace this particular chuck, I'll get several new sets of jaws with it, which would be nice. And for about $160 or so, that's not counting shipping, of course, I'm sure. That's better. Alright, so I just want to clean up right in here. Kind of have the tool up at an angle so I can do a little bit of scraping against this bead. Now I'm going to go the other way and do a little bit of scraping against that bead. Yeah, I cleaned it up nicely. Alright, cool. Put this away. And we'll throw a tad bit of abrasive on there. Let's see. Grab this guy. Oh, not yet. We're going to change chucks again. Use key, Dave. There it is. Anyway, I'm starting to have some issues, I guess is what I'm saying, with these pin jaws with this chuck. And it is, dang, I think I bought this one in 2015 maybe? Okay, so again, we're going into pin jaws, expansion hold, just finger tight. There we go. Doing my best to keep the red heart out of the pores of this maple. That'll be surface there. Alright, so this surface here is also very, very slightly concave, so that when I set my finial base on there, it'll lay flat, and I can see that I don't have this particular part around yet. I left a line from the abrasive. There we go. And I'm going to wait to hit this with the buffing compound until after the handle is attached. Which brings me to this piece of red heart. All right. Let's see, where's my parting tool? There it is. There's my gauge. There we go. Wrench slips right over it. There's my 1/4 inch tenon. So I left the tenon just a shade long. It's a little bit longer than maybe it's not. Let's take a look. It's a little bit shorter than a 1/4 inch. I think maybe I need probably. It should be a 1/4 inch deep there. Oops. So it is actually 5/16. So I'll make the plane just a little bit longer. But I'll leave it a little bit long because I can sand that bottom part up to make it fit just right. And I'm looking for not that guy, this guy. Got a little fuzz on this part here, so I scored it with the spindle gouge so that I will have a clean edge here. And I need my 1/4 inch skew. I need to make this just slightly concave. Nothing outrageous. That way that outer edge will sit. This is slightly concave, so it'll sit perfectly flat on there. And these guys away now. And go with this guy. Now I'm thinking about it, I'll move that lid. You know, I'm going to bring this out some more. Well, let's make this part first. And then just a slight chamfer there. Just a slight bevel. That looks pretty clean and sharp. Get out a little bit further. Something like that. Should go taller. Yeah, a little bit taller. Yeah. Trying to set myself up where I parted off at the top of the handle. That's not running through. Fix that, not with that guy. With this guy. There we go. Let's see, is that going to get me where I want to be? No, it's not. So I'll just leave it how it was. Let's see, what kind of handle top do we want here? Let's take a little bit of a ball. Right in here. Now is a really good time. And a 1/4 inch skew. And then let's see. Dome shape. What are we after here? A little bit more of curve there. Okay. You know what I think we'll do? A bit of a dome here, ready? That's too wide, that's too wide. Let's take it down a little bit more. time where I'm going to want my parting tool. Before I finish that up, and not just have a piece of tool. There it is. Okay, first tool on the floor. It's not quite the right shape, so before I throw any braces on here, I want to fix that. There we go. I think I can leave. Nope, I can't. I say I think I could leave that chamfer the way it was, but it was just the smallest piece. It's gone now, but the smallest piece of tear out. And that certainly had to go. Because that'll just pick up that finish and make itself a whole lot more visible. There we go. I think that'll do it. Maybe not. I really think I'm going to have to get that shirt though, man. One that says one more pass or one more cut. Come on. There we go. And that surface. Okay, now I can part that off. All I've got to really sand will be the end of there. Let's go with the big guy. I was going to use my parting tool, but this will be a cleaner part. Just need to finagle my tip into there. Let's open that up a bit. Can't quite get into there. There we go. So a much cleaner part. Won't have much sanding to do on that guy. And let's put this guy. Not good. I'm a wood hoarder and I can't help it. Okay, now Let's get this guy fit. Oh, look at that. Left it a little long and it's perfect. All right, a little bit of glue and we'll line up this grain. Yeah, it sits very nicely too. Very cool. All right, I'm back to get the glue out of the kitchen. I think I will use a little bit of the medium viscosity here to join these two together. And pardon me just for a sec, my nose is kind of dripping here. All right, so that's cleaned up. Now, which direction do I need to go? I think. Get a little bit better look at the grain here. Get rid of that nub and there we go. So my line is that way and I want it facing that way. Just like that. Hopefully that's not too much. Just a dot right there. Line my grain up again. There it is. Okay, just a skosh too much. Clean it off. Just a little bit too much. Where's my grain? And then hit it with the accelerant. And I'll hit the inside again just in case. Put these guys away. Nice and solid. And you tight again. I'm gonna have to, oh, there we go, kind of round this out and brace it out so it conforms to the shape of the video that I'm trying to sand here. Do that, I'll do a little bit here. Take a look at that. Yeah, that looks very nice. Now we're ready for, hey, nope, you're not jumping off. Just tried to lose my backup pad there. Alright, let's move those down. That over there, this over here. And now we're ready. Did I keep? No, I had to get rid of that. Okay. Another piece of paper towel here. Oh, it does occur to me, I've had some experience working with red heart and maple at the same time, and some other, you see all that sawdust. I don't want that in the pores of the maple. So I want to clean that off. Because from experience, once it gets in there, it is impossible to get out. And I don't want this to show up as red. I want it to stay the color that it is. Well, the color after the cooking wax is applied. Okay, cool. Now I should clear that off. So this time I'm going to do my best not to put too doggone much on here, because a little of this goes a really long way. And I've got just there, just a tad bit too much, but not. Yeah, I can scrape that off. Here we go. So you're going to see me switching to a clean piece when I'm working on the maple. I'll go back to the red here when I'm doing this red heart, but I don't want to grind it into my maple. Buff that in. This buffed in. And this guy. really want to build up that heat on this because the red heart will really take in the wax. There we go. Nice. And then I can finish the inside of this and the inside of the box with walnut oil. Yeah, that looks really nice together. I think I'll leave the lid the way it is. I was thinking about maybe shortening it. No, that's fine. That's lovely. Okay, so that piece is done other than walnut oil. And I think I'll leave the beetle dust on the inside. So I'll set this inside and we're moving on to the next guy. Set these aside. Maybe not that. Let's take a look at this. So I started working on this piece. I was going to make a cup out of it. I think I still will. It's got bark inclusions and branch inclusions. We'll just have to do something about that later. So now, get this guy set up. Number 2. I think I marked this guy. So we'll figure out. I'd started and then wound up stopping because of these features here. Trying to decide whether or not I was going to carry on with the piece. And I think I am. Alright, so I'm going to make myself a spot for holding the chuck here so I can work on the back side. Let's start with this guy. Look at that, it's already running pretty true. I don't need all of this material. I have to keep in mind there's a crack in it right here, but that is going to be carved away. This outside ring is going to be is what I'm going to use for making the handle for this. I'm making a I think I'm going to make a kuksu cup on this guy. So this diameter needs to come down. That is about the right depth that I'm looking for. So honestly, this can come down some more. That's the problem. Well, it's not a problem. It's just taking me longer because I had it running at a slower speed. there is a branchlet that has come through on the edge of this, and I want to get rid of that pith. It's probably still a little bit thick, but I can take some off the backside. So you see that little pith right there? There's a branchlet that came right out this way, or rather in this way. This is going to be carved away anyway, but that's where that split is at. Alright, let's make that recess for the chuck jaws. Way too much stuff to move here. Oh, yes, and I handily left myself a bottle of water. Okay. That back. That's probably deep enough. We'll just go with that. A little box tool happening here. I think that should be enough to use the Vic Mark truck here. You know what, let's find out for sure so I don't have to reverse it again. This is number 2. Let's go ahead and mark that just for fun. Okay, that should be big enough. It might not be. Yes, good. I want to give myself a little bit of a dovetail on the inside so the outer part of the jaws can slip right in there. I will do that with my 1/4 skew. Alright. So this one I can crank a little bit harder because I've got, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch wall thickness here between the inside and the outside. So I can get really nice hold with this expansion hold. And I've got this fella here, so I need to be about there. Almost. That should be it right there. Very close, not quite. Yep, that's it. my outside diameter. And a little bit over here. I'm moving from a push cut into a straight, slightly rounding that right there because the handle that I'm going to make the finger is going to fit right there. So this is what I'm most concerned with, is these guys. So let's continue making a shape here. Keep looking out of the corner of my eye and it looks like my computer's PC Snow says, "That's a beauty, Dave." Hey, thank you. Thank you. I think that is a very nice looking box. Please do me a favor, as PC Snow has done. Show your support for this channel. Please put a comment in chat, say hi, just something simple. It does help the channel get in front of more people. The methods that they use, the more people are engaged with the particular channel, the more people they will want to put in front of this broadcast in front of. Let's see, I think I want to go from a pull cut into a push cut. I think that'll work pretty good. Let's just clean that up with the spindle guides. Yep, that's going to go all the way through. Alright, so I need to fill this, and I'm going to fill these two also. I'd like to keep that. That looks kind of cool. I don't believe it's going to be. It's got nice, look at that curl. Yeah, this is a nice piece of timber. I don't think it's going to be a useful cup, probably, but at least it'll look cool. So let's get that filled in. I'm going to use, I think I use ground up bark for that. That would be in this guy, which means I'm going to need my thin CA glue and the accelerator. I should double check, and the audio is still going well, good. All right. Where's my straw? There you are. Oh, and also that will help pack it in. Or should I use brass? You know what? I'm going to go with brass. I think that might look even cooler. So I've mentioned this before. When I'm doing inlays, I like to use brass shavings because it's easier to work with in cracks and stuff like that. And I go to local key makers, man, and when they make keys, they gotta throw. They don't recycle it. They gotta throw it away. So if you're looking for brass shavings like this, go to your local key maker, and they'll most likely just give it to you. I visited Ace Hardware and Lowe's, and they were more than happy to get rid of it because they didn't have to deal with disposal, although they just throw it away, which I think is a waste. As a wood turner anyway, I guess as a key maker it wouldn't be a waste, but I used to think that they like recycled it, you know, or what's the word? Well, it is recycling, but you know, sold it to the scrap yard because they get a lot of these shavings, and I would think that they could recoup some money. But you know, corporation, I have no idea. I'm just glad that it's available and I don't have to try to figure out. I guess I could always use like thin brass stock or something like this, but this compresses right in to the cracks. And then when I hit it with the CA glue, it'll harden right up, and the brass is soft enough that your high-speed steel tools will cut it just fine without digging up your tool steel. Hardened tool steel, high-speed steel, yeah, that stuff. It's taking quite a bit. That must be a deeper bark inclusion than I thought. But yeah, these brass shavings you can really compress and just pack into these cracks, and then once the glue is set and you turn it, it leaves you a small or a flat surface. It doesn't give you a grainy look. Because all of the shavings are compressed together and then glued into place. I might need to get my little bamboo skewer. Anyway, it's nice to be able to use these shavings because, you know, I don't have to cut like a specific shape to try to fit it in there. Add a piece of bar stock, it'll just fill it in. I suspect that some of the bark is also compressing because I'm just pushing more and more in here. There we go. Get up there. This part can take a while, but even if I was using sawdust or some other filler, it would take a little bit. So good start. Oh, just a towel. No. Oh, let me grab my Andrew skewer. Where's that guy? There it is. So this helps me pack things down in there too. I dulled the point a little bit. Nope. There we go. Now I can pack some more in there. And that will wick some of that CA glue up from the bottom. But I'll still need to add a little bit of glue. Yeah, I think that'll give it a nice look with that brass in there. A little bit more into that cavity. This was kind of like a different kind of take on kintsugi, I think. It gives a similar golden look, right, of the repair, but I'm not using a poisonous glue. Urushi, the glue that they use, it's a tree sap, but it's also toxic, so you have to be careful when you're using that. I am working with my bee buddies out back to collect bee propolis, which is a mixture of tree and plant resins and other groovy things that the bees add to it, and it makes, well, they coat the inside of the hive with it, and any kind of cracks or holes they'll plug up with propolis. It has antibacterial and antiviral properties to it, but because it's tree and plant resin, I feel like I should be able to turn it into some really nice wood glue once I get enough of it collected. Okay, so that's that part. I'm going to fill these guys. I'm going to take that glue off of there. Let's just make sure we got it fairly well packed in there. I haven't hit it with accelerant yet. And I'm filling it to where it's, I put a lot in there, but I'm leaving it just a little shy of the surface because I am going to take another pass here to clean all this up. But hey man, bamboo skewers are cheap and they are an effective tool for this. You can tell by this tool, the brass that's been stuck to it. I've used this tool to pack a lot of brass. This one is not as deep. This guy though, this is a really deep skewer for. Put that because that pith is what I'm filling where this branchlet was at. And we'll just keep packing it in there until I can't really pack it anymore. I haven't really done this on like super big voids or anything like that. I mostly just use the brass for cracks like this. But you know, sometime I might have to try doing a larger void with just a lot of this brass. I think that might be kind of cool too. There we go. That should be okay. Let's put a little bit more in there because I'm still able to pack some in there. And we'll hit that with a little bit of CA glue. A little bit, Dave. And then we'll pack some more in there. Okay, that's probably good. Starting to weird me out, man. I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye like my computer screen is glitching or doing, I don't know, it's doing something weird. I don't know if it's just on my laptop, it's adjusting light or whatever. I'm not seeing it I'm not looking directly at it anyway, but I just keep seeing it out of the corner of my eye and it's almost like movement, you know. So it's a little distracting. All right. So now I've capped this dude. A little bit more Ceramic glue. Try not to stick myself to it. Okay, move these aside. I'll hit it with the accelerator. just to make sure that the glue cures before I start turning that. Okay. It's dry. Dry. It's cured. Dry is not the right word for this stuff. Put that away, and that. See how that looks? Oh yeah, that looks nice. Alright, cool. So now I can work on this. Make sure that looks pretty good. Yes, it does. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Uh-oh. I seem to have glued my my banjo down. Let's get rid of that. A little bit of brass and glue there. Oh, I know what I can use. This dude. Alrighty. So before I do, oh, well, I could leave it that way and just make my handle wherever I want. You know what? I am going to leave it that way. I was going to change the axis on it, but I'm not going to now. Making sure that I don't have, I may have to fill in a little bit there. Alright, now I'm going to give myself a bit of a hold here, be able to hollow it out. And that'll work. And I can finish the outside when the inside is done. There we go. Where's my mark? Mark. Doesn't matter now. And I believe I am going to probably want, not this guy, my round nose negative rake scraper. Still has a nice burr on it. Very good. Hey! No, you are not falling onto the ground. That was almost a 1, but I saved it. Hitting that bar conclusion. Okay. Check my depth. Got a little ways to go, so now should be able to go in there with this guy. My magic pencil. Yep, I'm going to fill in the inside with brass too. Okay, that's a good depth. Now I just need to work on my final wall thickness here. Yeah, that's pretty good. That'll do. Get this guy in there a little bit more, so I'm not hanging off the tool rest so far. Get the feeling I'm not really as deep as I think I am. That should be okay now. Yep, so I'm gonna have to fill that in. That's all right. I'm just matching this bottom curve now. That's a really decent wall thickness. Make sure. Let's clean that off. A nub in the bottom. I'm gonna fill it before I get my absolute final. Yeah, that's good. My final thickness here. Just gotta clean this little corner up. That's very nice. Okay. We're doing on time. Half an hour to go. Okay. Yep, got a little bit to fill there. I can see the backside of where I had pushed some of the brass through. So that means this, in theory, this side will go a little bit quicker. Oh, I need one more tool. That guy right there. Oh, that's just, okay, that's beetle dust. There we go. Up, up. Oh, forgot the brass. Ha ha. So I guess technically you could still use it as a drinking vessel once this is all done. This guy. Just gonna pack it as full as I can. I'm gonna wind up turning away just a little bit more of the inside. A little bit thinner walls. So I don't really need to leave the brass proud or anything like that, because I'm going to go down to that depth. It's not going to be super deep, but I'll just have to make a pass or two. I'm just packing it in with my thumb now. It's easier to get my thumb in there than it is that tool. Trying to hold it in a way you can see what I'm doing here. Wow, I dumped quite a bit of brass in there when it's almost all packed in. So that was a very big bar conclusion. I don't know. I may have to do where the branchlets come through. I don't know. I think not. I think I can leave those features alone. I'm going to hit them with CA glue anyway because of the pith, and there's a little bit of bark along with those pieces where the branches came through. But if I hit it with a CA glue, should stabilize it. Come on, get in there. Now I think okay. See what kind of happiness that gets. I want to make sure that I get that bark that's in that bark inclusion also, so that it all plasticizes, I guess is the word. Yeah. A little bit more in there. And then pack that down with this guy. So that I don't stick my fingers into it. Should I have CA glue fingers? Yeah, I guess I got two anyway. There we go. Oh, good. It did not stick to me. Let's move this guy aside. Actually, let's do this. And that should be good to go. I'm going to put a fresh burr on my negative rake scraper here. After I get all this stuff put aside. This too. And almost have, other than the carving, what I hope is a nice little pizza cup. Alright, let's make sure that anything that's loose will come out. There we go. Thinking that should be all right. So what I was originally thinking of doing is getting this outer disc set, and then I could change the center and put it wherever I want. Oh, I didn't put glue on that. And put it wherever I want and change, like put the bowl of the cup further out to one side to have a longer handle. But this is actually a pretty decent thickness for a handle, or width. And I like the features that have showed themselves. I need to go get the glue again. I totally spaced that I have to hit those two spots. Something like that. Shut there. Audio is still good. Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to take a cleanup pass before I put a new burr on this, just to get a lot of that out of there. So I'll have to mess up that burr on that, well, not exactly loose, but you know, loose-ish brass. I'm just flattening out the bottom here. Almost there. That was it. Put a new burr on this really quick so I can get the sidewall. And I'll put my negative rig scraper up at an angle. That's nice. Alright, let's take a look at this really quick before I go any further, because I may need to, and I don't think so, but I may need to put a little more brass. Nope, I do not. Very good. I do, however, need to get a slightly smaller negative rake scraper in there, right at that curve. Let's raise this up. Okay, one more look-see before I flip this dude around and finish it up. Other than the carving goes, that's all clean, no glue, brass is showing through. Okay. And so I don't have to sand this later, that smooths everything out. Oh man, there's going to be all kinds of curl in there. Hopefully I can, I'll probably put the handle in this area just to capture that curl. Alright, let's flip it around. Let's not just yet. Come on, get in there. I think I will. Right here, use a bit of abrasive on this curve. Much better. All right. Wrong side. Beep beep. All kinds of curl in there. That looks really nice. I'm starting to second guess myself and say, you know, I should run abrasive just on this surface. So that's what I'm going to do. Slow this guy down. Yeah, that did what I wanted. Yes. You can see that some of the wood grain has picked up some of that sawdust. Darn it anyway. So we will go to this guy. See what that did for me. You know, it would make more sense if I just grabbed a flashlight instead of taking this off every time. Oh, it's not right there. That's weird. So I can see where I might need to do a little bit more work. A little bit more right there. There we go. I'll get rid of most of that. A little bit right here. Okay, that's gone. You see that pith now is coming through, but fortunately, I probably, you know what, I probably should hit that with CA glue. Yeah. Yep, think I will. Or will I? Yeah, I put a little bit there. In fact, I think I've got a good opportunity to maybe put a little brass right there. Yep. Excuse me. Let's see, that tool, that tool, that tool. Probably don't need that tool. It's kind of punky, so I'm going to leave it, and instead of digging it out, because really I'm only concerned with the rim of this. This is This is going to be the rim of the cup. The handle is going to be probably right over here. So I just need to pack in a little bit. I don't have to fill the whole doggone thing because that's going to be cut away, but I may wind up doing that anyway. Just to make sure. Oh, there it is. That the rim itself is taken care of. I don't care about this part out here because I'm carving that away. Oops, that was too much. So let's put some of that back. Hey now. I'm gonna pack that in. A little bit more in there. That should be enough. Spilled a little glue, and now I'm sticking to the glue container. Alright, that should be the last time I need this stuff for this piece. And no, I didn't sand that part. This guy. And that brass should sit up really nicely right there. Wrong pocket. Cool. The hell is that? Oh. I could hear something moving and shifting in one of my pen holders. I must have bumped into it earlier, and it finally went the rest of the way. Okay. Got just a little bit, a small piece of brass. There we go. Had just a little bit, a small piece of brass stuck to the side there. It wasn't in a place it belonged. There we go. All right, move these guys aside. Yeah, that should look really nice once it's cut away, and yeah, very, very cool. All right, the outside, and then we are done with it. So I think instead of this one, I will use this guy. Expansion hole. Not yet, Dave. Okay, one last thing. We're going to make sure we know where our bottom's at. And it is right in there. That is beautiful. We gotta wait. The pencil away. Get it out of the way. Ah, did it again. Dang it. I'm gonna really work on getting this figured out tomorrow. Okay. Want it to be just a little bit concave. It's not quite. That'll do. It's like 32nd of an inch. Doesn't need to be deep. It just needs to be so where it sits on the surface, it sits on that outer ring. See, I can move these aside. And I need this guy. Now, I think that was a little bit too big of a foot, so I'm going to adjust that. Well, I'm also going to Give myself a catch, apparently. There you go. Okay, so my bottom on the inside is right about there, so that should be plenty thick enough. Oh good, the brass is showing up nicely there. Oops, dang it. A little bit more work here. Let's go with this guy. No, let's go with this guy. Bingo. Alright, just going to clean that up a little bit. I can see there's a bit of a tool mark there. And I got my little minor set that I gifted myself. Cool. I can sand the outside, fine it. The whole thing other than carving and finishing is done. In fact, I'm going to finish this outside with my beeswax. Back down again. Oh, sharp tools are awesome, man. Means, especially if you got great tool control, not much sanding has to happen. You probably didn't even need to touch the bottom. Okay. Time for a new piece of abrasive. Work on these tool marks here from the abrasive paper. There we go. Get rid of those concentric marks. Now I'll hit it with 220, which I thought was right there, but is not. Where'd you set it, Dave? There it is. Now it's time for beeswax. Yes. Yes. Oh, wait. It's almost time for beeswax. Gotta get the engraver out. see, how about right? Okay. My final finish on this piece will actually be walnut oil. Especially on the inside. No petroleum products, since this is meant for putting your lips on. Didn't get much there. There we go. There we go. Close that off. Again, as slow as my lathe will go. See that? That's the brass. I'm gonna have to keep moving my towel around so I don't wipe that or grind that into the surface. Grab a little bit more. Just a bit. Buff it all in. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, wrong key. Oh yeah, let's get that paper towel out of the engraving groove there. Come on, come here, come here, come here, come here. Not really any wax in these engraved grooves. It's just a bit of the paper towel. So you can see the brass, very shiny. It's not grainy. The same thing will happen on the inside, although I'm not going to use beeswax on the inside. I'll use walnut oil, but that's a pretty piece of wood there. All right, cool. So all that's left to do is carve it, put walnut oil finish on it, and it is a Kuksa style cup. Very cool. Pardon me, my nose is dripping. Okay. So back up to here, we'll turn that off. Turn this off. And this guy too as well. There we go. All right. Thanks for joining me this evening on Twitch Tuesday. I hope that I explained the steps I was taking very well. I really enjoy not only turning, but I really enjoy teaching. I'm just kind of looking at the shine and the chatoyance on that, that's a really nice piece of maple. And then with that brass in there, it's going to make it quite unique. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. I found out I had a knack for it. Fell in love with it. And then after I got involved with the club, I started teaching it too, and that is a lot of fun. I really enjoy helping other turners either improve their skill levels or even start turning new turners too, who have never done it before. I think it's very important that you work with someone who knows what they're doing, as opposed to following random videos on YouTube. If you know the turner knows what they're doing, and you watch their YouTube videos. Let's see, there's so many. Mark Gardner, think Dick Gerard might be on there. Lyle Jameson, my YouTube channel. There's quite a few out there that are not only know what the heck they're doing, but they're fairly well known. I'm working that way myself. So anytime that you have joined me, TC Smo says nice and winged vessel. Thank you very much. Wait till it's carved. Appreciate it. But take the advice that YouTube channel, in my experience anyway, and especially when I started turning, I went to YouTube, and because there's how-tos and all that stuff, but turns out a lot of those things on YouTube, YouTube is for the views, right? So people will do things that maybe aren't necessarily smart or safe, just to have the views. And I always want to err on the side of safety. Wood turning is an inherently dangerous prospect to undertake, because you have a lump of material spinning around at 50, 60 miles an hour, and you're applying metal tools to it. And it's very important that you know, or you learn and practice how to apply those tools, and how to be able to use those tools, the skill sets that come with practice. And there are a bunch of pieces to this puzzle called wood turning. There's so many aspects of it, so many things to touch. I know I'm just scraping the surface myself. I know I am. There's so many things I want to explore, and new things come up all the time, or I discover new things myself all the time. So I'm always trying to figure that stuff out. I think once you get started and you have some time under your belt behind the lathe and some good instruction, that if you're not doing well now, things will change. Or you think you're doing well, or maybe you think you could do better. You can always improve your turning, but the secret sauce to all of it is practice. Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the more your muscle memory gets entrained, especially with the right kind of practice. The more your muscle memory gets entrained, and then I don't want to say it's the easier. It looks easier, but the more skilled you can make the cuts, and the better cuts you can get, and so therefore the better pieces you can turn, because you have less sanding to do and all that. So if you're looking for a good instructor, and you have to be in town here, Traverse City, give me a shout. I'll be happy to work with you. Anyway, that will be it for this evening's broadcast. Please don't forget to check out my, I'll put that in there right now. We'll go for the little chat of YouTube. That would be my YouTube. All the past broadcasts that I have go right to YouTube after I get them uploaded. This looks really cool. This looks really, really cool, man. And this brass up in here, I don't know if it shows very well on this particular camera, but It looks really, really cool. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you get to join me tomorrow evening. I have a few more things to catch up on, and some new projects I want to try. I'm still working on that sculpture series. I hope to have that. It'll probably be after the first year that I have that put together and ready to start. Um, so I hope you join me for that. That'll be a 4 or 5 part series. I'll try to keep it to 4, but it might turn into 5 with the ideas that I have. And hope that you stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again for joining me. Hope to see you again. And good night, folks.